Cravings. Let's put this back. Today we're going to talk about cravings. Now guys, the first thing you need to understand, cravings are not your enemy. You're not a bad person. You're not a T-Rex for having cravings. It's completely normal. I get them, you get them. It's human to have cravings. What you need to understand though is why you get cravings. Cravings generally come from two sources. Because you're lacking a particular nutrient, and as well because you're just wanting to eat a particular food because that gives you some kind of pleasure through your taste buds. Those are the two sources of cravings, and we're going to go into how to address both of them. How do you tell these cravings apart? Nutrient cravings versus you're just wanting to eat a particular food. Now nutrient cravings, right? These are very like non-specific. So you might wake up one day and your sodium levels are low and you're like, I feel like having something salty, and whatever foods you associate with a high salt content, you might have those foods suddenly pop into your mind. So me, for example, when my sodium levels are kind of low, I'm just constantly craving McDonald's fries, and I recognize, hey, you don't necessarily need to eat McDonald's fries, it's just that you're low on sodium, so you can either binge on fries or just start adding a little more salt to your other meals and end that nutrient craving. Sometimes you might be studying all day, your brain is really tired, you need energy, your brain is craving carbs to give you a quick energy source, and you will start thinking of sweets and ice cream or maybe bread. But you need to recognize, hey, I've been studying all day, I'm probably low on carbs for my brain, so that is why I'm thinking about these things. And if you recognize that, you can then make better choices on what foods you pick to satisfy those cravings. The other type of cravings, you're just craving a specific food. You wake up one day and you're like, I want to have that particular Krispy Kreme donut with caramel drizzled on it with extra sprinkles, and there's nothing else in the world that I want, it's just that particular donut from Krispy Kreme. These cravings are a bit harder to fix, but we're going to talk about how you can address them as well. You wake up, you're craving that Krispy Kreme donut. What in the world do you do? Relax, there's hope, okay? You can fit it in. You can pick your most like high energy expenditure day. So maybe the day you train legs and you're burning a lot of extra calories from that workout, and you schedule that day to satisfy that food specific craving. That way you would kind of offset that whole high calorie intake over calorie burn for that particular day. So that's something I do in my own life. I try to fit my cravings in when it's something very specific that is extremely high calorie. That's the first one. Second one, which is what a lot of us have problems with, sampling. Guys, a lot of time our cravings, it's like on a fixed meter. So you wake up today and let's say the meter starts at 0 from I don't need to eat this, and 10 is I really have to have this immediately. And when you get that food, you have to eat a certain quantity of it to satisfy that meter. So one day you might wake up and you're craving red velvet chocolate cake, and you get a slice of cake, but halfway through that cake, you know you already satisfied that craving for the cake, but just because you go the extra mile and you eat the whole thing and another slice. This is something you're gonna have to build your self-discipline and work on. You need to start recognizing when you get to that point when your craving meter has been filled and you don't necessarily need to binge and eat more of that thing. This is going to be extremely important. If we start practicing this more, you're going to realize that you don't overdo a lot of foods. Sample as opposed to going T-Rex. That is something you could do with these food specific cravings. Summary guys, we have two types of cravings, food specific and nutrient based cravings. For those nutrient based cravings, keep in mind you're craving a nutrient, not so much a really high calorie food. If If you're low on salt, don't eat McDonald's fries like me. You start adding more salt to your food. If you have a feeling something sweet, you can do things like have more sweet fruits, or start using sweet whey protein powders like I do in my breakfast shakes, and you can get that at apnutrition.com, discount code COBRA, and that is really gonna help just wipe out that craving for sweet stuff. Food specific things, you can fit them into your diet on your more high calorie burn days, super high energy days, and also start practicing sampling and stopping when you've already satisfied your craving. I hope this video was helpful. If it is, hit that like button, comment, and tell me what are your cravings and some of the things you guys employ to help satisfy them. I'll see you on the next one.